Hey there. I know it's hard to feel like I don't care at all. Where you are and how you feel. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics.
I
just know I can't make it on my own.
I feel like you have that song stuck in your head.
Yeah. I love that song.
It's like
It's a great fucking song, dude.
I'm not saying it's not a good song.
Wow, I can't believe Taylor hates that song. That's
not what I said.
crazy. Welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
Welcome.
My name is Fred Stewart. And with me as always...
Whoa, I pressed the wrong button. That was a little bit of I was foreshadowing because I'm back, bitches. I'm back.
My name is Fred Stewart. And with me as always is my lovely co-host.
Hi, it's me. I'm here. It's Taylor.
And with us running cameras and sound isn't an ostrich, a guinea pig, or our clown Chester. It's Mr. Marty Cowick.
I'm just kidding. It's me. I'm back.
Oh my God, he's back again.
We put Marty behind the camera, and it is quickly delving into chaos.
Yeah. You gotta get back in the swing of things.
I forgot how to use a keyboard.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you...
Welcome back, Marty. It's very good to have you back here on
buddy.
the program
Thanks,
of Haunts, Graves, and Omens. Don't really got a lot of fucking like true crime news or anything to really talk about this week. I kind of blanked on it, to be honest, but I did listen to a fantastic podcast that everyone should go listen to. It's called The Sean Ryan Show. It's a guy who was a Navy SEAL turned CIA contractor. It's very big about people sharing his clips of his show, and I was going to get someone lined up for this, but fucking right over the top of my head. But he brought on the man who within the last 7 years had bought Skinwalker Ranch, and did about a 3-hour interview with him, and it's fucking fascinating. It's really cool if you like alien and UAP stuff, and it's just a blast. Anybody else got any fun news?
Not really.
Marty?
Microsoft went down 3 points.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but...
That's pretty much it.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into this week's episode, it's going to get a word from our sponsors. Hey, you. Are you sick and tired of drinking that white, watery bullshit the government calls dairy milk? You want to look for something a little more exotic? Well, here at the Dock Farms, we got just the thing for you. I'm talking milk from birds, Komodo dragons, sea turtles. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, none of those things produce milk. And I want you to show me. Show me the fucking titties on an almond. Here at the Dock Farms, we're all about family values, and you being a customer. Yeah, you're out here. Check it out. But hey, we have a saying around here, and it goes, if you can think of it, we'll milk it. In fact, through our state-of-the-art facility and our classified process, we have found a way to milk our own host, Mr. Marty Cowick.
What's up, partner? You want some milk?
Absolutely incredible. You can find the Dock milk at any local store, or at least until they start catching us putting it in stores. It's questionable at best. You can check out all of our other thrilling products here. Check it out.
I like how it says
Do you have any
pork
closing
sandwich.
statements? Yeah, in quotations.
Mama.
Fantastic. That's right. All new episodes of The Dock are coming out. We just released an episode but when the time this comes out, just 3 days ago. So go check out that latest episode of The Dock, and then we'll be coming out every single week. Working on figuring out a schedule, what day they're supposed to be coming out, because this is every Sunday, So that's kind of fun. But the episode's been really fun. It's been a blast. So, and Marty's on the back, so we can finally hit him in the nuts with the rubber chicken again.
Yep.
But
I'm ready. My nuts are ready.
His nuts are ready. But this week's episode we're going to talk about is something that I wanted to write about, but I got a little behind editing and stuff. So I said, Taylor, can you write an episode this week? And she said, what should I write about? And I said, write about this thing that I wanted to write about. And if you can't tell by the title already, we're covering the mysterious disappearance of Granger Taylor.
Yes.
Yes. Mysterious indeed.
That's pretty weird.
He's willy weird.
Willy, willy, weird.
Willy weird.
Do you know anything about this case at
I
all,
know
Marty?
nothing.
Okay. Well, this is a whole new story for Marty.
I love his middle name.
A whole new story for ya, Marty.
A whole new story for ya.
Because I didn't remember this case, and then I looked into it, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I went on a tangent about this case recently.
Did you?
Yes, with somebody.
Oh,
It was probably you, and you probably just don't remember.
That is always a possibility, but
it's a weird case. Weird.
really, really weird. Y'all ready?
I'm ready to get into it. Are you guys ready to get into it?
Red eye
You ready to
spaghetti.
rumble?
All right, let's get a word from our sponsors.
No.
Hey, you.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, we're not doing that bit again.
Hey, you.
No. We're gonna be shooting more fake commercials. So you'll see it on the program here. A program like we're 50 years old. We'll just get into it.
All right. So Granger Ormond Taylor was born October 7th of 1948 on Vancouver Island in Canada.
Canadian.
Mm-hmm. His early years were kind of filled with tragedy, like from the start. Like his father had drowned in an accident near the family cabin on Horn Lake when he was a young boy. So that's
Starting off strong.
yeah. But Taylor grew to be a large man. He was stocky and strong, and he can be seen throwing friends around a wrestling ring in family photo albums. However, his personality was completely different than to like his imposing figure and how he looked. Taylor was shy and quiet in person, and then some also called him a bit eccentric.
Yeah, I mean, as we get further into the story, people will kind of understand how people can understand he might be eccentric, because he was definitely different. You know, like he was just a kind of quirky kind of guy, but very lighthearted, very sweet man. And you know, it's you know, you immediately start your story off like this, where he's like, he experienced tragedy, but he rose to greatness, which only means something bad has to happen at the end. God doesn't take the bad ones.
So Taylor had dropped out of school sometime around the 8th grade and began working at local mechanic shops and became infatuated with machines. I'm just surprised that they hired an 8th grade boy to work at a mechanic shop.
Well, he was probably like 6'3", and they're like, he's probably just autistic. It's cool, you know.
Like
Like he just comes in, he's like, let me work on your machines. And they're like, fucking whatever, bro. Just don't fucking
Sure.
eat me. I don't know what you want, dude. Yeah, for sure, bro.
I don't know. It's just weird to think of. I mean, at that point, you're 14, working at a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that would happen like today.
Well, you said he was born in 48, so that was probably like, what, in fucking
50s?
late 50s, you know? Like 60s? However math works.
I don't
You know?
know. Early 60s, mid 60s?
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, whatever.
No one cared back then.
You know, he's not fighting in Nam. He's fixing Ford Ranger. You know, dude?
Fixing machines.
Yeah, dude. Fixing machines like a man. It was a man.
So it wasn't long before friends and family noticed Taylor's uncanny ability to fix almost anything. By his mid-teens, Taylor had restored a one-cylinder car and overhauled a bulldozer that he used to help neighbors with construction projects and odd jobs.
That's the positive side of Killdozer. that's the other side of Killdozer people don't see. Is that if Marvin Heemeyer just didn't go crazy,
Yeah.
he just fixed his bulldozer and he's like, I'll help you with your properties if you let me build my shop. And they're like, okay, Marvin. Like it's just a complete other side of the
How
story.
it could have gone.
Part of the Dozer verse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of the dozer. Oh, dude. Yeah, part of the Dozer verse, dude. Like, I can't wait for the 5th movie when it's just me on the ground and they're just using a bulldozer to shove fucking ham in my face, dude.
Can't wait for the 6th movie where it's just the bulldozer is just alive at itself. You know, it's just alive and it just is on a page.
Spoilers, Marty.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Just kill me! Kill me! I ain't putting my sentience into this bulldozer. Kill me! God, I love that part of Cars.
So Taylor also later restored an old steam locomotive that he overhauled from the bush. It was eventually featured at the BC Forest Discovery Center in Duncan. And then also one of Taylor's crowning achievements was the restoration of a World War II P-40 Kitty Hawk, which was later purchased by a collector for tens of thousands of dollars.
That's pretty badass.
What is the Kitty Hawk?
World War II P-40 Kitty Hawk. It's
Like kitty, like a cat? Kitty?
yes,
Hawk?
Kitty Hawk.
yeah, Kitty Hawk.
That's pretty fucking cool. I want one of those.
Yeah, dude. You know, it's you know, like how I say like cats can't like always land on their feet, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know, then what you do is you duct tape a cat on top of a hawk, and then let them hunt together because no matter what, they'll catch something.
That's pretty gangster.
Yeah, and then they strap a motor to it and send it off to fight the Japanese and the Germans.
Nice.
That was a part of Oppenheimer people didn't see.
So, I apparently erased the first name of this man. Robert, there it is. I was like, I know it's in here. So according to his friend, Robert Keller, who he actually helped restore the Kitty Hawk, he was quoted as saying, in my books, he was a genius. Like, this man was smart. He
Yeah.
knew what he was doing.
Incredibly smart.
He was not like necessarily like into school, but he was a smart dude. Keller said that he and Taylor met through a mutual hobby, which was smoking pot.
Bro, hell yeah, bro. Fucking put him
Yeah.
up, brother. Yeah, dude.
I didn't think you were gonna actually high five me.
I would
blaze
never.
it. Let's go.
Dude, 469 blaze it, dude. Fucking put your sentience in a bulldozer, brother.
Yeah.
Duct tape a cat to a fucking predator bird, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Keep your weed in the Kitty Hawk.
Dude, that'd be tight, bro. What a flex.
So one of the many reoccurring conversations that Keller and Taylor would have while getting high was the topic of space and aliens.
Shocking.
Quote, Taylor took me under his wing, according to Keller. So also like Taylor, Keller had found little interest in school and dropped out at a young age. Almost immediately, a bond formed between the two men. For Keller, spending time with Taylor was enjoyable, fun, but Taylor also took his work seriously. Keller's quoted as saying, I think he was a genius bordering on insanity, because he was very into his thing.
Well,
I mean, most geniuses are bordering on insanity, you know?
yeah, dude. A lot of people don't know that, like people who, you know, like who create things and are like super intricate with stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, dude, they're just picking up homeless people and skinning them, dude. Like, I have no way to possibly prove that, but I feel like it's true.
I thought you were going to say something about autism.
That's what I expected too.
Honestly, probably, yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's like Taylor here.
Yeah, they're probably
Like,
picking up autistic people too.
Like Taylor's special interest is dogs, dude. I can ask her anything about a dog right now. Hey, Taylor, what's those dogs that are kind of like wolfhounds, but they're bigger?
Irish wolfhound.
What do you mean?
They're got long noses.
Are you, so there's,
They're like not really wolfhounds. They got long noses and they're really lanky.
are you talking about Borzoi?
Yeah, there it is. See? Just like that.
I was going to say, there's like
I knew
several-
the answer. I just wanted to just kind of beat
There's
around the
like
bush as soon as you can figure it out.
There's several types of wolfhounds. There's there's the Irish wolfhound, but then you've got the Russian wolfhound, which is the Borzoi. But then you've also got the deerhound. So there's a lot.
I don't know, dude. You know?
So
Let's go.
in the grand scheme of things, my special interest is animals, but when you really narrow it down, it's dogs. So
Yeah.
that's my thing.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks.
great. What the fuck? Ah.
What the fuck just happened?
Marty's changing the fucking cameras up, dude.
God damn it, Marty.
God damn it, Bobby. But yeah, so I mean, like this dude was just everything I've read and heard about this guy and watched, and this is a case that I know fairly well, you know, and it's just this dude, Mr. Granger Taylor, was an interesting fella to say the he just was always like very kind to people and would always like you said, be able to fix like anything, which is a pretty weird interest. Like, be like, put this thing that you've never seen before in front of him, and like, yeah, I'll see you in about 2 hours. Come back and it's fixed.
Yeah.
Which will play later on in the story.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at you, listener. People watching. They know.
So it's not really a surprise that Taylor was super into UFOs, aliens, things like that, because it really skyrocketed in mainstream culture in the 1940s and 50s. Makes a whole lot of fucking sense. You know, with the World War II pilots reporting seeing large balls of light, which they would later refer to as Foo Fighters in the sky. You know, they'd be like, we don't know what it is. And then they were like, it's electromagnetism.
And they're like, it's Dave Grohl.
Dude, I was literally, I felt like it was too easy, you know? And I was like, look, the pilots are just like flying around in their P-51s and they're just like, hello. And like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Dave Grohl's here floating around in the sky.
My other favorite thing that they suggested about the Foo Fighters is that it was an issue with the pilot's psychological state.
Well, naturally.
Obviously. It could
You're
be anything
crazy
else.
or it's electromagnetism.
Yeah. Or maybe a reflection of light. But it could also be, hear me out, okay?
Dave Grohl.
No. Yes, but no. I was going to say, no, I need you guys to not get in an uproar when I say this.
Okay.
It could be a pelican.
What you saw was birds.
I don't know. What do you think, Marty?
I mean, sounds about right to me.
Sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know this, but seagulls actually, they're people always see them on the ground and stuff, but a lot of people don't know is they are actually on the other camera, and they're actually.
I mean, my
they travel. I lost the bit. It was just Taylor just like looking around and just ranting.
it's funny because I was looking over at you instead of looking up. Like I was waiting for what you were going to say. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Never mind.
They're on the other
It's not even worth it anymore.
Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, fucking. Whatever, dude.
And so, I mean, by the end of the 70s, UFOs and aliens have become a cultural phenomena, reflected in Hollywood with the release of films like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Star Wars, Star Trek. It's really popular, so it makes sense that he was really, really into it.
I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
It is a good movie if y'all have not seen it.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
What? Dude, let's do a bunch of.
I've watched the Fourth Kind movie.
Oh, is that the one with where they're like in Alaska and people getting abducted out of the ceiling and shit?
Yeah.
That movie's fucking fantastic as well.
That was a good movie.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind was great, bro.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
I've never seen that one.
Shot
have to try
in
and
like
find it.
Utah, dude. It's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We'll have to just have to find it, and we'll strap Marty down to a chair and he can watch it.
Yeah, we'll just feed him a bunch of hallucinogens and just like go fucking full Clockwork Orange on him, dude.
I'm ready.
Get the milking bucket.
Great. So it was during this time when they would get high and work on the machines and stuff that Taylor told Keller he was going to build his own spaceship. Keller told Vice that Taylor spent the better part of a year welding together a life-size spaceship replica from spare parts he collected from the local dump. Douglas Curran, the author of the book In Advance of the Landing, Full Concepts of Outer Space.
Too long.
It's way too long. Shorten it down. As we say. Alpha Cos.
Alpha Cos. Yeah,
It's a
dude,
weird version of albatross.
yeah, dude. Did you know Alcatraz means pelican? Yeah, no, it's too long. In his book, he says what?
So he visited Taylor's spaceship before it disappeared from the family farm. In his book, he detailed what the inside of the spaceship looked like. Quote, he built a spaceship out of 2 satellite receiving dishes and outfitted it with a television, a couch, and a wood-burning stove. He became just obsessed with finding out how flying saucers were powered, spending hours sitting in the ship and thinking, and often he slept inside of the ship.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude. He just doing, his own thing, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick, dude. It's like those like spaceship homes back in like the 50s.
Dude, those are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love those.
Yeah, dude. Imagine getting probed in a spaceship house, dude. That shit would be crazy. That'd be tight, dude. Yeah. Usually I had to just go on fucking Craigslist, dude, and whatever.
I long for the day.
What the fuck? You just turned British all of a sudden? I long for the day of which I climb into the spaceship and probed. That's hot. Yeah.
Douglas Kern, who was the time colonist, reported that almost a month before the big event, he told a friend Bob Nielsen that he was in direct contact with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, he lay there and got mental communications with somebody from another galaxy. He couldn't see them. They were just talking to him and his mind.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. The gigantic dude who's just like, people are talking to me in my head. It's like they're from outer space. And you're like, okay.
Oh, good.
And it's like, sometimes I take birds, I catch them, and I just squish them. That's what the aliens want me to do. Granger Taylor never do that we know of. I'm just saying.
So Nielsen added that most people thought that Taylor was just dreaming all of this up, that it wasn't real.
It's not real, Tay.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe you. Now, it may not surprise you, but according to family members, in the months leading up to his disappearance, Taylor had been doing a lot of acid. So they think that had something to do with it.
Naturally, yeah.
Surprise. The people in this point, probably 70s,
Mm-hmm.
were doing acid. Crazy. Never happened. Wild.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely not during the time of MK Ultra and everything, so it's fine.
No, never. Apparently he was taking acid a few times a day.
Oh.
Which sounds like a terrible time.
He'd be working on like his car, like a car and shit, and be like, back's a little stiff. And he'd just like open the medicine cabinet and be like, oh, it's time. Yeah, sheet acid. It's the whole sheet just right down the back, right down the back of the fucking mouth,
10
dude.
hits.
Just 10 hits. 40, bro. Just fucking just disappear.
So apparently a letter written from Granger's cousin, Jacqueline Sandiford, to Taylor's mother, Grace Taylor, mentioned the same thing. Quote, friends of Granger said Granger did quite a bit of acid through the summer, but had no bad trips and did not experience any ill effects. They said that he frequently spoke about going into outer space and there being some kind of mental contact with an alien. They say he's so matter of fact about it that they were too. He told them that he would be leaving soon, a day or two before he did. They all seemed to accept that Granger had done what he said he was going to do. And he had a reputation for being honest. And after checking it all out, I think so too, according to his mother.
Damn.
So, after 2 weeks of vivid dreams and mental preparations, the day of Granger's departure arrives, November 29th of 1980. As Granger predicted, a storm begins to gather in the skies above Vancouver Island. Robert Kelly states, quote, the day that Granger left, first thing in the morning, he came and he got me and everything was just the same as normal. seemed a little anxious, almost like excited, like a kid going to Disneyland. And he said, quote, "Today's the day."
Great.
What?
Today's the day. That's pretty fucking ominous, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you finally got done armor plating your bulldozer? That's cool, dude. That's great. I'm super excited for you.
But so he had been mentioning the fact that he was going to be leaving. And Keller says, quote, "I looked at him and I said, yeah, it's cloudy and overcast and kind of a crappy day, but it's not the storm you were claiming it was supposed to be." And he said, "Oh, well, just wait for it." We don't get a whole lot of thunderstorms on the island, like right on the coast like this, but this was like a supercell. It was right over top of the city that day. I don't remember seeing anything that bad in my lifetime at that point. I believe even the TV and newspapers called for the storm of the century in that area. It was like, we're talking serious forked lightning. It was black, even at like noon. You would swear it was midnight outside. It was so dark from the clouds and whatnot. It was just a crazy, crazy bad day. But Granger had spent 2 weeks prior about this storm. He knew, which no one else really like believed him. They were like, "It's not gonna be a bad storm." He was like, "There's gonna be a bad storm,
There's gonna be a bad storm.
and I'm leaving."
Yeah. And once we get past this section and kind of the main crux of today's topic, I'm actually going to kind of double back and talk about the storm and kind of the other side of it.
Yeah. So Granger he knew it was going to be the worst storm ever. And Keller was not sure how he knew it was going to be the worst storm. Quote, "Because I'm pretty sure, like I said, back in the 80s, even meteorologists couldn't give you 2 weeks in advance notice." And I said, "Well, why? You know, why are they coming on such a stormy night, right?" And he said, "Because they can hide their ships."
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a ship shows up on a clear day, everyone sees it. A ship shows up on a cloudy day, they hear it. You know, they show up on a stormy day, they just hide behind the clouds and thunder and everything. And the lightning just hides their ships. So it's a perfect time for them. And I kind of just thought, oh, of course, yes. Keller then asked, "Are they going to create the storm?" "Oh, I don't know. Possibly." And according to Keller, he said, "Okay." Okay.
Natural reaction.
When I see it, I'll believe it. So that was the first day that Keller had not spent an entire day with him. He had just spent the morning, and of course, when he came by when he was on his way, and then he left. And sometime after leaving Robert's house, Granger returns home to write a note to his parents. It was just kind of what he needed to just make arrangements to go and just kind of button up a few things. He'd left a note for his stepfather, his mother, and his mother on the door explaining that he was going on a 42-month journey, not to worry about him, and that he would be back. He also left a will instructing what to do with his belongings, giving them care of his dog Lady. In the will, Granger makes a unusual change. He crosses out the word death and deceased and writes in the words departure and departed.
Interesting.
Yeah. He also deletes the word funeral, leading his family and Robert to believe that Granger fully intends to return. So at around 6 p.m. that evening, Granger rolls up to Bob's Grill in Duncan in his bright pink truck. He drives a fucking neon pink truck.
Yeah, he does.
So
That's pretty gangster.
It's pretty gangster.
you truly are not going to not know it's him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in this, smallish town, it just, it's like you live in a town long enough, you can recognize people's trucks, recognize people's cars. And specifically with this pink truck, it's going to play later on here in a minute.
Yes.
And it's pretty weird. Weird.
It is pretty weird. But it's very important to note that he has a bright pink truck. But he is a regular at Bob's Grill, and Linda Barron, who's working in the kitchen, sees him enter and sit at a table by himself. She reports that he had a brown knit sweater with a zip up front, same black t-shirt that he always wore, blue jeans, and logger boots. She doesn't recall any conversation, but she does say that Granger was a quiet type. Linda notices that he leaves around 6:30, but she also notices he doesn't have his winter coat, which she thinks is pretty odd. It is pretty odd.
Mm-hmm.
Considering there's this big fucking storm that's starting to bear down on the town. After leaving the restaurant, Granger comes back and pays Robert one final visit. Quote, he showed up at our place, and I said, oh, Granger's here, of course. It almost sounds silly to think of it now, but even though I was like 15, it's like Granger's here. I ran down the stairs and said, oh man. I says, the day is already over. I'm not very good at a Canadian accent, but I can.
Oh, the day's already over.
Ah, man, I says.
This is also Vancouver Island, so.
But he definitely has because this is a quote from him.
Yeah.
Where it's you can tell that he's Canadian because it's says.
Well, I could tell just even without you trying to do the accent that it was.
Well, yeah, because it just says, and I said, oh man, I says, the day's already over. I says, we're not going to get anything done. And he said, well, I'm serious. He said, the aliens are coming today, tonight. My dad took that as a big joke. And so, of course, I said, well, can I go with you? My dad said, yeah, no, it's fine. It's good. Go. Take him, I'm good with that. He's not going to school anyways and blah, 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 blah. So it's good with me. And Granger says, I really can't. And Dad said, why not? And he said, well, first of all, he wasn't invited. And second of all, 42 months at the speed of light. He said, 42 months time will pass for me, and it'll be 42 months. But here on Earth, we travel faster. So when I return, it'll be only 42 months older. If you guys will be I forget, but I think it was we'd age 150 years here on Earth. So that was the only reason he wouldn't take me because I was at the time 15 years old, and he couldn't do that to me. So it was really heartbreaking, and it was that I've never seen him again. And he says, I promise you I'll come back and visit you when I get back, which, hang on a sec, which meant that he would come back and visit my grave.
Yeah. So we are still in waiting to find out if Granger ever comes back.
I just have to see if one of these is the clapping one, because Fred, you deserve an applause for that.
Yeah, he did pretty good on that one.
Thank you. I saw a lot of producers' dicks to get here. They didn't force me. I just did it. I honestly insisted. Yeah, they were like, please, you're just a background actor, and I'm like, yeah. Then again, that might have just been their fucking sandwiches, dude. I don't remember. I was on bath salts like crazy. Might not have been an audition, to be honest.
Yeah, so it hasn't been 150 years since this happened. So
not yet. We'll be long dead.
Yeah, we'll be gone, but hopefully, he does come back, and they're like, he was fucking right. This shit.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fucking weird.
He just shows back up in his pink truck at the diner. They're like, what the fuck?
Hold on a fucking
He's like,
minute.
oh heck yeah, bud. Good to see ya.
So on November 30th, after the skies clear, Granger Taylor is nowhere to be found.
Dun, dun,
He's
dun,
gone.
dun.
Robert Kelly says, quote, when he left, he said he was going. So I, at 8 o'clock that morning, I got up and he wasn't there to pick me up. Reality kind of started settling in for me that, I believe he's gone.
This is so Canadian. Do you mind?
If you would like to.
But just to make sure, I waited until I believe it was around 9:30, and I phoned his family home, and I spoke to his sister, and she said that he wasn't there, and she didn't know where he was, and it was just he just wasn't around, so nobody really took it seriously, I guess. And then a few more days went by, and I think people started sneaking into people with he's gone. He's not coming back. And then, of course, the talk started. Nobody seen or heard of from him in, a few days. I think the family and everybody was starting to get starting to get super concerned. And and by then, I like how the next part is just Gay Reynolds.
That is a man speaking. This is a different man. So, according to Gay Reynolds, quote, Dad was the one that was home. My mom was in Hawaii. So when she came back, I guess, saw this news. So I guess she was pretty upset. She thought that if she hadn't gone to Hawaii, maybe it wouldn't have happened. Maybe. But anyways, my parents reported it to the police that he was a missing person. So they searched all up Mount Prevost. I don't know the fucking name. I don't know how to say things. Sorry. And they had dogs and everything. So the Duncan detachment of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
You gotta read that how it's written, like narration.
Okay.
The Duncan detachment of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police begins an aggressive search for Granger, which includes helicopter scans of the densely wooded mountains in the area, but they don't find a single clue. They check the passport office. Granger's name is added to the National Police computer system. But the biggest mystery of all is how Granger's bright pink truck has managed to completely vanish without a trace.
So I mean, they go, they look, they investigate.
Mm-hmm. They can't find it.
They literally can't find anything.
Which is pretty bizarre. It's a bright pink pickup. Like you would think that it would be easy to find.
Yeah. So according to Robert Kelly, the police came and spoke with his father. Quote, to this day, I've never really understood why the police never spoke to me because, I mean, I spent pretty much all my waking hours with this guy for 3 years before he disappeared. I've spoke to my mother about it, and she says that, I was just a child back then, and Dad didn't really want them to, get me involved in this. So, he didn't give them permission to talk to me, but that doesn't make sense. I don't know why nobody ever questioned me.
Yeah.
Which is odd that they would just not question his best friend who had spent the past 3 years with him literally every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is quite odd. I mean, I guess you gotta look at it from the other side of like, this dude says he's going with aliens, but he just disappeared. But it is what it is,
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but at the same way, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's weird. Personally, I think it's a little odd. But so Granger's friends and families are still confused and disturbed by his sudden disappearance, but they continued to hold out hope that he might still return. But in March of 1986, almost 6 years after Taylor's disappearance, local forestry workers found a blast site near Mount Prevost, I don't know, not far from Taylor's parents' house. So, according to Robert Keller in the newspaper, I believe they said it was a blue truck. Well, as soon as they said that, my dad said, well, they're going to do an investigation on Granger. Maybe they should be doing an investigation on who really owns that truck. Because Granger's truck was clearly Pepto-Bismol pink.
Mm-hmm.
And they insisted that they found something, either a license plate or a VIN number plate, like that little aluminum thing that goes on your dash. They found that embedded in a tree, and that number was traced back to Granger's truck.
Found it embedded into a tree.
That's pretty gnarly.
That's another part of this story that's fascinating.
How hard it is to pull out a fucking VIN from a vehicle too. Like,
yeah, it's fucking hard. And that on top of that, this truck used to be pink and now it's blue.
Which is pretty odd.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's almost like it was exposed to high amounts of heat.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
So so Tyler Hooper, who is a British Columbia journalist, has been investigating the Granger Taylor case for several years, and he was digging into the bizarre details. And according to him, quote, so the blast site, from my understanding, like it had a radius of 300 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
That's a big blast radius. I think at one point they ultimately said it spread to like 600 feet and that some of the debris from the truck was as high as 60 feet in the trees.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And like I said, I'll get into a little bit into the other side of this here in a second.
Yeah.
Once we kind of get through the crux of it. But that is another key point in this story.
Isn't a story is 10 feet, right? So it was 6 stories
Yeah.
in the air, just to give like a little frame of reference.
Yeah. That's like, let's see, that's probably like, I don't know, like so many mini fridges, dude.
30 mini fridges.
It's at least 2 mini fridges.
Americans will use anything except for the metric system.
Yeah. Like that just seems like a huge radius and circumference to have for a blast site. And there was a bunch of obviously just mechanical parts lying about, a bit of an engine block left that was actually, I think, almost 100 feet away from the initial crater. The engine block.
Yeah. It's an incredible like devastation of what is left of this area, and including the truck.
Yeah.
Like an incredible blast occurred.
Which honestly, it's crazy that the engine block was, or like a bit of the engine block was almost 100 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Those bitches are heavy.
Yeah, they're definitely not light. Good job, Tay.
They're fucking heavy as shit.
Well, at least 25 pounds.
I'm going to say it's probably more than that. But when they found it, I believe there was some part of a wheel up in a tree like 60 feet high that had been blown up in there and embedded itself into a tree.
Those are some tall ass motherfucking trees.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Vancouver Island, Canada.
Yeah, Vancouver Island. Yeah.
So a lot of trees, you know, it's very similar to the Northwest. I mean,
yeah.
it's densely, you know, thick forest. And it just goes to show that, like, when if you are in the Pacific Northwest or you have or surrounded by forest, just look at a tree and go 60 feet up and then go, there was a wheel stuck in that.
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
So, according to the Montreal Gazette, human bone fragments were found at the scene. Quote, now it's my turn to burp into the mic. Until further evidence
It was always your turn to burp in the mic.
You've always been here.
I'm usually not the one burping into the mic, but I had too much soda.
Hey, don't do that.
I wonder who usually burps into the mic. Wonder who it could be.
Not I.
You say that.
Not I. Not me.
So, quote, until further evidence is found, the RCMP is assuming these are Taylor's. The article also said that Taylor had taken dynamite used for blasting tree stumps with him in his truck. An official coroner's inquest deemed that due to circumstantial evidence found at the blast site, Taylor had been killed. The coroner's office concluded Taylor had been carrying dynamite in the back of his truck, and at some point, whether on purpose or by accident, it went off. Keller said Taylor often stored dynamite in his truck to blow up tree stumps, which was a pretty common method of disposing tree stumps at the time. Keller added that Taylor had handled dynamite on countless occasions and knew how to handle these types of explosives. From the coroner's report, all the evidence points towards Taylor perishing in an explosion. However, DNA tests were not conducted. And since they were not conducted, Robert is not willing to assume that the bones were the remains of his friend, Granger. So, quote, the bone fragments that they found were found inconclusive for whether it was him or not, and I don't think they could even say whether it was male or female. But somehow the coroner said, oh, well, that's Granger. Really? Sorry, I have to laugh at that because he closed the case saying that he felt it was Granger, you know, but it was a bone fragment that was inconclusive to whether it was male or female. Or, you know, like, oh my God, that's... or, you know, like, oh my God, but maybe that's how they did things back then.
Yeah.
So DNA technology was not available in 1986. However, today the bones could be tested to determine whether or not they do indeed belong to Granger Taylor. However, the bones are missing.
Coincidence?
The bones are missing. Are we
Yeah.
surprised? Is anyone surprised?
No.
Hey, you. Are you sick and tired
No,
of...
Marty. Are you sick and tired of your bones disappearing?
Are you sick and tired of your bones missing? Well, fucking try here at the Dock Farms. You only care about your bones and you were keeping them. Unless you want to buy somebody else's bones. But no, I'm not surprised, to say the least.
It always fucking happens. The
Yeah.
bones always go missing.
Well, I mean, that's why, I mean, you look at all these fucking serial killer cases over the years and how they missed all this evidence because they're like, it's just chain of custody and people losing shit and then it just goes on and on and on. But I don't know. This could have also just been the conspiracy side of been like, oh, those are interesting. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. And then they disappear.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
It's fucking weird that the bones have disappeared again. Not actually, it's not that weird because it fucking happens in every goddamn story we ever tell. Every fucking time, I swear to God.
Yeah.
So, quote, the RCMP in Canada, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they're basically the equivalent of the FBI in the United States. They are our federal police, and they don't make mistakes.
Okay.
Robert Keller has a lot of faith in the RCMP.
The Mounties, yeah.
They're one of the best in the world. They're the Queen's Guard. Even when they destroy evidence because it's no longer needed, they know where it went. And, you know, like we destroyed the evidence because it was no longer needed, so it was burnt, it was trashed.
I mean, of course, Bullwinkle works for them, so he's...
what a reference. Yeah, God.
I don't know how you remember that.
who can forget Bullwinkle? And his pal Rocky.
I don't even know what to even say right now.
He worked for RCMP.
You unlocked a childhood memory I did not realize I had. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So, according to Keller, quote, that's not what I was told. It wasn't destroyed. It was lost or misplaced. So the mystery is, if you found what you claim you found, where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence?
Where's the evidence, motherfuckers?
Show me the proof.
But according to the RCMP, it is they do not know where the bone fragments are.
Of course.
They were like, we don't fucking know. We lost those a long time ago.
You know what they said? He's like, where is the bones that you supposedly call Granger?
Yeah.
And the Mountie said, oh, sorry, bud. You know, we just tossed it.
Whoopsie daisy.
You know, we were having a fun little day. We were playing pass the bone in the office, and then I passed it, and then they didn't never come back around. So I don't know. I think someone might have pocketed it, but we'll look into it. We're not going to look into it.
Yeah, it's just weird that like the RCMP can track everything. They're like, oh, we destroyed this because it was no longer needed or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're like, that's a good question, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty suspicious. You ask me.
We don't actually know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
Yeah.
So his reasons for disappearing that night have left friends and family guessing about Taylor's true motives. Taylor's stepsister, Joan Mayo,
Nice.
believes
Joan Mayo?
Joan.
Nice.
Yes, Joan Mayo. Believes that he left because he was lonely.
Well, what does John Mustard think?
Keith Ketchup.
Great.
And then our friend, and then their other condiment friend, Dale.
What?
Dale. Dale Ranch.
Nah, dude, his name is Dale fucking Kepler, dude. He's just a guy. He's not even a condiment superhero like Joan.
Great. Great.
Stupid.
It's so stupid. Quote, he had his own way of doing things. He was just different. Mayo used to have parties that she now wishes she invited Taylor to more often.
I wish I was invited from parties from Mayo too.
Mayo parties.
Marty goes to a lot of Mayo parties, bro.
Quote, when I look back at it now, I feel guilty I didn't invite him more often. I'm sorry that I didn't include him. But his sister, Grace Ann Young, thinks the acid probably had something to do with Taylor's death. Thinking, was it possible that his trips caused him to lose a sense of what was real and what was make-believe? I mean, I feel like maybe if you're doing acid a couple times a day, that it's a possibility.
It is a possibility. I mean, you use hallucinogens enough, you can fry your noggin. So, but
Yeah.
I don't think that was the case in this.
I also don't think it was the case, but some people do think that that was the case.
And they're wrong.
One of Young's last memories of her brother is him asking to come stay with her and her roommates at their place in Vancouver. She told Taylor she didn't think that her roommates would approve of that. Quote, maybe if he'd come over, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have blown himself up. However, Keller does not believe that Taylor committed suicide. Quote, just before we built the spaceship, Taylor had said that if he wanted to disappear, all he would have to do is grow a beard and move to another country, and no one would frickin' know where he was.
Oh, yeah. Getting those swear words in, bud. Freaking nobody knows.
No one would know.
Yeah.
No one would frickin' know where he was.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a point. But I don't think that's what he wanted.
No. So.
I think you're funny, Marty.
What are you talking about?
you think you're funny?
You're such a fucker for that.
Nectar of the gods.
Meanwhile, I was taken off guard by the fact that this tasted more like alcohol than I thought it would. I know that it's a spiked simply, but like the other ones don't taste very much like alcohol. But that one has more of a taste.
God, just whatever, dude. We get it. You're an alcoholic. Get it? You're like, you just taste. That's why we can't have mouthwash anymore, dude. Because you're just like, you're always drinking it. Shit. Stop it. Stop it.
Have you guys ever heard of well, no, I know you've never heard of it, but there's a thing in New Mexico because they like a lot of the Native Americans there will drink mouthwash. And another thing they call on the res is ocean water, and it's not the ocean water from Sonic. It's they call it that because they'll take ocean spray hairspray and spray it in a glass of water because it has alcohol in it, and then they'll drink the water. Oh, dude, it's so gnarly.
That's fucking heavy metal.
It's super heavy metal.
That's
I don't
fucking.
think I could do that.
That's fucking rad, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No thanks. So Keller attributed Taylor's introverted demeanor as the cause for making him an easy target for bullying, and despite being a large, strong man, Taylor was anything but hostile with the people he encountered. In essence, it was the struggle to fit in that Keller attributes for his disappearance. So I don't know if Keller actually thinks that he went to go with the aliens or if he just like ran off.
Yeah, just disappeared.
Yeah. Ultimately, the loss of Taylor had a lifelong impact on Keller. Quote, it was like losing a brother, a father. The thought of not having Granger around was killing me. Granger was my mentor. I am who I am because of that guy. I apparently double copied something. That's fun. I'm apparently stupid. But yeah, it is weird that the truck was blue and not pink.
Mm-hmm.
Though there was a suspicion that like the high heat from the blast of the dynamite caused the pink to melt off, and that they went off of what was registered to the car.
Yeah.
Is what they called it was blue, but it wasn't actually blue.
Mm.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess I can get into it now. I mean, with the whole thing of when on the night he disappeared in the heavy thunderstorms, and he was, was it Kenneth, right? Asks his Granger, Keller asks Granger, and he goes like, "Hey, are the aliens controlling the thunderstorms?" And he goes, "I don't know. Maybe." That's actually a really common like theory that aliens will use some sort of device to control the weather in order to mask themselves to hide in plain sight, hiding behind clouds, things like that, behind thunderstorms. They're able to manipulate the atmosphere, in certain areas to cause this. And with the blast site, I mean, it's an incredible, huge blast, right? So unless he had an insane amount of dynamite in the back of that car, which is a possibility, we don't know how much dynamite he actually had in the back of his truck. In my opinion, he could have gone out there and there could have been a craft waiting for him. And then that craft shoots off at an incredible speed, right?
Yeah.
And that causes a disruption much similar to a explosion, masking behind the sounds of thunderstorms and just sends everything off into the distance.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, was there traces of dynamite found, or were they just saying that it's dynamite?
I believe that they were able to determine that there was dynamite. However, the other thing is possibly, if they had taken off at that incredibly high speed and say he did have dynamite in the back of his truck.
Yeah, it could have
It would
ignited it.
still be a trace amount in the explosion based on the fact that, it still fucking exploded.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the, cause of the explosion.
And, I mean, I can't remember if there was actual trace amounts of radiation during this. There's been theories and saying there was high amounts of radiation, but obviously can't really prove it.
Right.
I mean, if there was, that shit's fucking covered up. But I mean, it's certainly weird.
It is weird.
I mean, that blast had to have been significant, and then the fact that they mistook his pink truck for a blue truck, maybe because it was on fire. I don't know, but
some were saying that the type of car paint that was used could have melted off and either unveiled the color underneath, which I still feel I don't know, it would have been the same fucking car paint. It would have melted off both of them.
Yeah.
Both layers of paint or whatever. Versus I don't know if, because it is attached to the VIN, maybe the truck was originally blue, and when they typed everything into the database, it said, this is a blue truck, because he probably never fucking changed it to say, I now have a bright pink truck.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's also if it was a dynamite blast, you would think that I don't know, a blast so hard that it fucking embeds a wheel into a tree and sends the
60 feet away.
60 feet up and away.
Yeah.
And then it fucking puts the engine block 100 feet away. You would think there would not be enough things. Puts the VIN number of the fucking truck into
a tree.
A tree, it's just really weird. Not a lot of things are adding up to that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I also can't find anything on if a dynamite blast is hot enough to burn car paint.
I assume it's got to be hot enough.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who
fucking knows? But I mean, to this day, no one is certain what happened to Taylor. Apparently, there were rumors circulating that his body was found hanging in a tree not far from the blast site. Well, others seem to think that he just started a new life in South America.
Yeah.
Because that's where everybody goes.
Yep.
He went to Ibiza.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is happening over there?
In the beautiful lands of España.
Oh.
Spain?
España.
Great.
I don't.
España.
Okay. I don't. Yeah, buddy. Okay.
So there are lots of conspiracies online. Online UFO and blog sites such as Mysterious Universe.
He said, I'm just laughing at him saying España, and that's not even in South America.
I know it's
Yeah.
in Europe, but I like saying it.
España, not like Brazil or Argentina, and you're like España, Bolivia, Peru.
Nah.
No, dude.
Colombia.
Fucking. There you go.
There we
A little
are.
closer. That's a lot closer.
So websites like Mysterious Universe have an abundance of theories, such as that aliens blew up Taylor's car to make it look like he killed himself, or that it was a one-way trip and he would never be allowed to return to Earth. There are also suspicions that he used the dynamite to blast himself up into space.
Like a fucking cartoon character.
Yeah, like the fucking Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Put him right on up. Or because of his genius, he was recruited by a secret agency or society. But the truth is that no one really knows. But if the relativity of space and time do exist, maybe Taylor is on his way home in a couple of years, quite a few years actually, looking for the perfect place to land his spaceship. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Either that or he fucking just detonated himself in the forest.
Well,
You know? Like the craft comes down, and just like. And just like comes down out of the fucking dark, and you're like, he's like, they're here, they're finally here, and then you're just like, well, throw my cigarette away. Throws it back behind him and touches off 200 pounds of fucking dynamite and just
Yeah.
gets vaporized.
yeah.
I don't know, dude. He's like, I know you said I couldn't bring anything, but I was hoping to bring all this crystallized dynamite. Just trips. Fucking just gone. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I think with this case, it's a very unique case. I honestly think that the logical side of me wants to say that he went in the forest and something happened and he was killed in a blast. But what caused that blast? I don't know. But I honestly think that he was taken by some sort of alien
Yeah.
beings, you know, and they fucking, whether they just like faked his death or whatever, dude.
Yeah. Who knows? His spaceship was kind of cool looking, though. I will say. I don't know.
Yeah, I
You can picture it.
I don't
but
think I've seen it. Maybe I think Marty's looking it up over there.
Yeah.
he's working on it. He's
Yeah.
getting there. He forgot his glasses
Yeah, I did.
in New
Does it
Mexico.
say-
So,
Thank God for the auto. Like, did you mean?
fun fact: he can't see the keyboard right in front of him.
Dude.
It is pretty cool, though.
That is pretty cool, dude.
Okay, Fred. Is that this one?
Yeah.
That?
Uh-huh.
Or is that save image?
I can't see.
I found it. Oh, that did not work.
Ah, no.
Let's see.
Mike.
Just hit 0, my guy. It'll
Okay.
just pop
That'll be
up on
fine.
screen. There it is. Look at that.
You want to get rid of that? Yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
Oh, pretty cool. It's
It is
cool.
pretty neat.
It is super neat. And it's just a fun little craft, dude. It's a fun little craft.
Yeah, and he just made that.
Yep. And then there's our beautiful boy,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Mr. Granger Taylor.
I
he
like
just
the
looks like a
leather.
normal dude.
Yeah, look at that cart, dude. He's got the little cart thing, dude. That thing's sweet, bro.
What a gangster.
Yeah, he just looks like a normal guy. Like,
Yeah. He does. Forever in our hearts, Mr. Granger Taylor.
I really hope he does come back in, 150 years.
Yeah, we'll
From this happening.
we'll be long dead, and the nuclear Armageddon has already happened.
The
And
aliens just drop him back, and they're like,
they're like, "What the fuck did you guys do?
they're like, listen,
what
I don't know
happened?"
what happened. Are you sure you won't come back? Like, we can just take you somewhere else. You don't have to stay here.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's a pretty wild story. What do you guys think happened? Do you think that he actually went with the aliens, or do you think that he, is no longer of the living?
I think he's with some aliens.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Could he have been in contact with them, or how did he know so much? Like, something had to happen beforehand of the incident for him to like know so much, or
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a whole theory with the Greys that they're telepathic. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Greys don't have mouths, and so they talk to you telepathically into your head. At least that's what people at the bus stop say to me. So
He spends a lot of time at the bus stop. He doesn't even take the bus.
no, dude, I
Sits
just
there.
stand out there and go, "Tell me about the aliens," and I just shake old ladies. Tell me.
Some
and
of them.
Then they blink sideways, and I'm like, I knew it. Reptilian.
Yeah.
Then I get fucking beat by the Portland police. And they just take me home. It's every Friday.
That's actually what he's going to go do after
Yep.
this.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, you.
No. No.
It's so funny. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Haunts, Graves, and Omens. If you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, rate us 5 stars in the listening app. You know the business. It's like a podcast. Do the thing. That's really fun.
Do all the things.
Do the thing. If you want to follow us, you can at HGOPodcast on TikTok and HGOPodcast on Instagram. If you want to follow me directly, you can at I Hunt the Haunted on Instagram. Taylor.
Hi. You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Lunar Thrill. It's just all one. It's wrong way. It's right here. I don't know what I'm doing. You can also follow our dog at Spirit the Turv.
Spirit the Turv.
She's not here. She's downstairs probably sleeping, but that's all I got. That's all I do.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Marty.
right there.
Add Ghetto Feather.
You're forgetting some people can't. Some people are like...
At Ghetto Feather, there
you
it
go.
is.
Well, that was a fantastic story of Granger Taylor. And let us know in the comments and in the social stuff. What do you think happened to Granger Taylor? Do you think he was abducted? All that fun stuff. Or do you think that he just detonated himself in the forest of Canada?
I think he's with some alien.
He is with some aliens for sure.
I think.
But until next week, stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And hey there. I know.
I hate that. I hate that so much. Okay. All right.
See you later.
I hate having that in my ears when you do that. That's so gross.
Bye.
Bye.